Okay, so another shocker here. Another first-round pick goes to the Jets. Jets will now have 5 first-round picks in the next 2 drafts. I assume this is one of the next 2 drafts. Jerry Jones said he was gonna make some trades for defense, and well, he is living up to it. Quinnen will. Earlier. Well, let's just take it from the Jets' perspective. Then we'll take it from the Jerry Jones and the Cowboys' perspective. And actually, first things first, let's just talk about who Quinnen Williams is. Really good player for the New York Jets. Interior defensive lineman, about to turn 28 years old, so you still have some years left. Although he isn't the youngest player in the world either, but he's a very good player, and he is currently under contract for another 3 seasons. And I wonder how much the Jets will, how much the Cowboys are going to take on with that. A lot of times the way it works is it's all the non-guaranteed money just gets evenly divided. If that's the case, you'd probably be looking around $20 million-ish a year for Williams. I think Kenny Clark hasn't really been what they wanted, so they're going out and getting someone who is really a better version of Kenny Clark, even when Clark was at his best, in Quinnen Williams. He's a very good player. The Cowboys are spending a first-round pick for him, which according to Rappaport, he says, expect this to be the Cowboys first rather than the Packers first, which is surprising. Now, I haven't yet heard if this is going to be this upcoming season or the following upcoming season. I'm assuming that'll be out shortly. I'll try to put that in the comments below if it does not come out while recording this video. But that is who Quinnen Williams is. Really good interior defensive lineman, a guy who can not just help stop the run, but is a factor in the pass rush game as well. He's a monster in the run game. That's what you get him. He is someone who can be a game changer there for a team that maybe feels like that's what they need. That's certainly a thing they need defensively. And again, it is, while we're looking at the Cowboys and saying they're not a great team right now, it's a move not just for this year, but for the future. It's still surprising, though. It is, right? For a team that you feel like, why do you trade multiple first-round picks? Why do you trade to get multiple first-round picks if you're then going to trade one of those picks away to get another player? It's a bit complicated, I guess I would say, and it's a little bit hard to figure out exactly what the plan is here for the Cowboys. A move that, in a vacuum, getting Quinnen Williams for a first-round pick is not a bad move, even if it ends up being a top half of the round. If it's where it stands right now, it would be a good pick. It wouldn't be like an amazing pick. I'm gonna search Tankathon real quick and see exactly where it would be. Right now, the Cowboys have the 14th overall pick, and maybe they feel like with Quinnen Williams, they can be better. I do remember they traded a first for Amari Cooper, a move that a lot of people thought was a bit much, but ultimately a move that worked out for them. I think Cooper was really good right away, helped kind of turn that Cowboys team around right when they got him. It still is interesting. For the Jets' perspective, this is just really good. I think this is really smart. We talked about with the Sauce Gardner trade, it's like, hey, this is kind of their Matt Stafford situation, right? The Detroit Lions with Dan Campbell, when Aaron Glenn was there, traded Matthew Stafford for 2 first-round picks. Stafford had requested a trade, so it was a little different, but they had traded 2 first for Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford ultimately, goes and wins the Super Bowl for the Rams. It works out for them, but also the draft capital really helped the Lions continue to have success. So for the Jets, their defense, which is already bad, is going to be horrible the rest of the way. They might not win another game. They are currently in line for, if they lose out, worst case scenario would be the number 2 overall, or I guess worst case scenario would be number 3 overall pick, but they would be in line actually for the number 1 overall pick if it stands right now, if they lost out. So potentially a high draft pick, maybe you get a quarterback, maybe you go elsewhere, and 4 other draft picks, coming up. The Cowboys one could be pretty good. You expect the Colts one this year to be not that great, but who knows what happens next year as well, right? And again, I don't know if it's going to be the Cowboys this year or when it's going to be, but and I still haven't had official confirmation that it is the Cowboys pick, but still, this feels like a great move from the Jets' perspective, right? It just does. This feels like the kind of thing that you want to go out and do to rebuild, and I do think that, with what the Lions did, it just makes sense. Like, again, I think that doing these types of moves for Aaron Glenn, who isn't the GM, he's the coach, but like it shows that you can do something like this. You try to build a winning culture. Maybe those guys would have helped out with that, but you know what? You have to get draft picks. You have to try and find a way to be great and getting more of these picks, and this is a way that you can do that. So really big fan there. I guess let's try and defend it for Dallas, who is it's surprising, it's confusing. Let's try and defend it. The Micah Parsons thing was what it was, and part of why they traded away Micah Parsons was because of how Jerry Jones screwed up the contract negotiation. Parsons wanted out, and Jones made that trade. It's possible that Jerry Jones is sitting here and saying, hey, we now have this extra draft capital because of that. Let's just add some pieces. And like, yes, on one hand, this feels confusing. It feels like you're taking 2 steps backward and then 1 step forward. Shouldn't you take 3 steps backwards or 3 steps forward, right? But you add a player like this who's under contract for a bit. Kenny Clark hasn't been bad for them. You have him now. You have Logan Wilson. And again, you still will have a little bit of cap space that you're saving with not paying Micah Parsons. And you have still 3 first-round picks the next 2 years to help try and complete that defense. That's the logic. And I think the logic, too, is kind of the same reason the Packers traded for Micah Parsons. Hey, this is a good player. Let's just get the good player. And even if it's not the right year, it could still work out. The Steelers traded a first-round pick for Minkah Fitzpatrick in a year that they weren't really doing a lot because the logic was, well, he's a young player. We're going to have him for a bit. Like, it'll still hopefully help us. And they probably still feel good about that, how that trade went down, even if that wasn't a year that they were great. Because, again, here, Williams is under contract. I do think that, like, I wonder if other teams were willing to give up a first for him. I do. Clearly the Jets are shopping around these players, are willing. Part of me wonders, so this is kind of a weird point, but the Jets, they had said they weren't shopping Sauce Gardner. The Colts just called them with an offer, and they have a philosophy of they just pick up the phone whenever they get a call, and they said yes to it. I wonder if after that, other teams are calling and saying, hey, what about this good player? What about that good player? I do wonder if other teams would have been willing to give up a first. Like, part of me just wonders if you have, would the Ravens have, or would one of those really good teams have been willing? Would the Colts have been willing to give up a first for him? And ultimately, if it's the Cowboys first, well, because, that could be the differentiating factor here. So, surprised we still haven't gotten exactly confirmation on what the pick is just yet. But still, it's interesting. I mean, you have another couple pieces. Can the Cowboys turn it around? Let's end there with that. Can the Cowboys with these picks with these players turn it around this season? They just lost in kind of a tough fashion to fall to 3-5-1. They don't have a huge margin for error. They do play the Raiders on Monday Night Football. That feels like a win. You then have to play the Eagles, the Chiefs, and the Lions. Their next 3 games, no, I don't think this team can turn it around. I think they're more than those players away. I could be surprised. I've been wrong before, but I think that this is a move for future years, or it's just crazy. I think this has to be a move for future years, but it could work in future years, and we'll see if it does. But yeah, those are my thoughts on. Okay. Oh, so we have the the full report now, along with a second round and a future first rounder. The Jets are trading for. Rappaport tweeted this weirdly. I'm trying to figure out how to read this. Okay, Rappaport tweeted out, along with a second round and future first rounder, the Jets are trading for Mazi Smith. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what he means with that. So I'm assuming Mazi Smith is going to the Jets, which I guess is just a complete flyer along with this. I'm confused as to who's sending the second rounder. Is it a first and a second for this? Weird wording. I guess I'll hang on here for a second before I upload this video just so I can fully understand that, or I'll just put it in the comment section below. I believe that means, if it's different, I believe that means that it's a first and a second rounder. Okay, wait, here we go. Rappaport has clarified. So the Jets get a second rounder and a first rounder and Mazi Smith for Quinnen Williams. Mazi Smith is whatever. He's a guy who it's a flyer. He hasn't worked out with the Cowboys. Maybe they feel they can coach him up. He was a first round pick, but that's fine. The second rounder on top of it. This is a lot, and it is the Cowboys pick, not this year, but next year. So the Cowboys think they'll be better next year. Wow. Surprising move. Huge win for the Jets. I mean, you can't feel much better about it if you're a Jets fan. Obviously, it sucks to see players you like leaving. That part's not fun. But with the draft capital, I think even a Jets fan who's disappointed, you can certainly sit here and say that you get it. And the second round pick will be this year as well. So Jets gonna own the draft for the next couple of years. That's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.